Hi, this is James with Tabletop Gaming Guild, and today we're going to take a look at Mysticana, a foundation deck system. Now, this is going to be a game from Button Shy Games, which is coming to crowdfunding here on the 28th. And this game here is going to have 3 different games that begin played in it, and is a system. So these are going to be cards that you're going to be able to play in multiple different games. So this is going to be a reusable game where you can apply different rules to it. And like I said, in this base game, you're going to have 3 different games that you're going to be able to play with it. Let's go ahead down the table here, and I'm going to show you how to play Mysticana, a foundation deck system, with the 3 games that can come in it. Now, also keep in mind that this is a prototype, so some of the stuff can be subject to change, but you'll get the general idea of what all this can do. And then when we're done, we're going to come back and I'm going to give you my final thoughts. All right, so this is Mysticana, a foundation deck. Now, what that means is this can actually be a game system. You can play multiple different games with just these 18 cards. There's going to be some base things that we're going to look at, but this is going to be, out of the box here, there's going to be 3 different games you can play, which we'll go over in a minute. But you're going to have these cards here, and they are going to run from 2 to 6 and have an avatar card. And you're going to have 3 different ranks or 3 different elements in this game. You're going to have your fire, you're going to have your earth, and you're going to have your water. Now, these are going to work in a rock, paper, scissors type way. So the way this is going to work here, so let's set these up here, is you're going to have where earth consumes water, water extinguishes fire, and fire scorches earth. So they're all going to have weaker or higher. That'll matter for some of the games in here. And you'll have the rank, which is going to be this number here. This is going to be the elemental type. And you're going to have the name. So here's going to be, this one's going to be Astra. This is going to be Guardian. Now, they're going to be the same for each. So 6 here is the same as 6 here. So here's the 5 Guardian. And then you're going to have the 4 Dominion. Then you're going to have the 3 Spirit. You're going to have the 2 Sanctuary. And you're going to have the 1 Avatar. Now, these are going to alternate. So this is a creature. This is a location. The next 4, so 3 will be a creature. Then we'll have a location. Then we'll have a creature. And then, or sorry, did I mess that up? Then we'll have a creature, sorry, and then we'll have a location. Okay, so again, what we're going to have on the card is we're going to have the rank, the elemental type, the name, and the type. So that's going to be the elements of these cards and basically what you're going to be using in all these different games. Now, the first game we're going to go over of 3 for this core base game is 9 Perils. So the way that the 9 Perils works is you're going to shuffle up these cards. So we're going to shuffle up these cards for 9 Perils. And we're going to deal out 9 cards. So you'll have 9 cards left because it's an 18 card deck, and you'll have 9 cards face down. So hopefully I have shuffled these enough, and we'll see, because I separated them out to show you. But, sorry. Shuffle it again. We're going to put the 9 face down. See if I can get this so it sets on the screen here. So 3, 6, 9. So we have 9 out. Okay, so what's this game? Well, the prophecy foretells 9 great perils, warning of coming doom. As a seer, you must peer into the future and find a path to avoid these perils. 9 Perils is a quick but puzzly solo game of arranging a sequence of events to avert 9 disasters. So, setup's pretty easy. Like I said, you just shuffle up, you put 9 face down, you have a deck of 9 here. Now, you're going to pick the difficulty of the game. You can have the beginner game where you're going to be drawing 3 cards. You can have a novice game of 2 cards where you're drawing 2 cards, and a seer game, which is the most difficult, where you only have 1 card. So what are you going to be doing in this game? Well, let's say we have our 3 cards. We have our 3 cards in our hand here. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to peer into the future by flipping any face down peril card face up. So I could pick any one I want here, and I'm going to put it face up. So right here I have an avatar. Now the avatar I didn't mention, but the avatar is different on each one. So the value of this one here depends on the game that you're playing. So in this case, an avatar has no rank. Rank is going to be the value. So this guy right here is going to have no value. Now it's going to be very important when we play our elements, because we're going to need to pay attention to elemental weakness. So where fire scorches earth, if I play this earth here, this earth is going to be a 1 instead of a 2, because it'll get a -1. So it's very important to realize. So I'm then going to prepare. So I'm going to draw a card from the deck. So now I have another card. And then I'm going to strategize by placing a card face up into the row. Now I don't need to place it underneath the card that I flipped up. I could place it under any of these cards, and there could only be one under each. So in this case, I could place this blue card over they're both avatars, but this one's a higher rank, so this one will beat this card. So I'm looking to either beat or tie, but I'm looking not to lose. Now, one thing to remember, though, when you're going through these, one of the cool things you can do in this game is you can tie. So if you tie, the outcome of this and the next cards are going to be determined by 2 cards down. I don't have a tie here, I have 1, but let's keep on going here. I'll go ahead and flip this card next, and another avatar. I didn't shuffle well enough, and I draw a card here, and I will just easily defeat this card here. All right, so we'll go ahead and flip this card. This card right here is going to be a 6. Oh no, that's going to be really hard to beat. But I have this blue 6, so I could place this here. I really did not shuffle very well. This card will be my next turn. I'll flip this one for Dominion. Get a card. Fire beats Earth, so we'll put that there. Now let's say, for one reason or another, we tie. So we tie here. So what will end up happening is, let's say we already resolved these. We'll just throw cards under things to show you an example. So here, we'll place this. We'll place this here. We'll flip this card over. We'll place this card here. We'll flip this card over. We'll place this card here. Yeah, whatever. We'll place this card here. And we'll place this card here. All right. Now, in this case, we would have lost the game immediately right there. So we lost. If at any one time you can't resolve a threat, you've lost. But let's say this is the start of the game right here, and we have a tie, because I just want to show you that. If we have a tie here, we're going to skip this one, and we're going to look at this one. And since this one beats it, we're going to go ahead and flip this over, and we're good for this one too. So we flip these over. So we have taken care of all these perils. Then we're going to look at this one, complete this peril, and complete this peril, and so on. But we would have started from the left and gone to the right. And that's simply how you're going to play 9 perils. You're basically trying to avert all the perils, and the cool mechanism in the game is tying when you want to try to skip one that you might not have been able to beat. All right, the next game is going to be called The Path Ahead. So in The Path Ahead, in every corner of the realm, travelers engage in timeless game of deduction and chance. The Path Ahead is a light game where players take turns guessing whether what lies ahead on the path is stronger or weaker than what they've already encountered. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take this deck here, and you're going to go ahead and shuffle it up. Now in this game, the avatar is rank 1, so you're going to have cards 1 through 6. And again, the avatar card has this symbol on it. So there'll be the 3 elements, and each of them will be 1 through 6. And you're going to choose a player at random to be the first player. The gameplay takes over multiple matches until the end of the game is triggered. Starting a match, shuffle the deck and draw 1 card and place it face up in the discard pile next to the deck. So we're going to go ahead, and that's going to be our fire card there. Until the end of the match, players continue clockwise, with each player taking a turn as follows. The current player must guess whether they believe the next card will be stronger or weaker than the current top card of the deck. Stronger, same element but higher rank, or any card of the stronger element. Weaker, same element but lower rank, or any card of the weaker element. Reveal the next card and place it on top of the discard pile, so all previous cards are covered. If the player guessed correctly, their turn ends. If the player guessed incorrectly, they gain the consequences, then their turn ends. The next player, clockwise, takes their turn. So basically flip this card over. It is higher. So if I would have said stronger, I would have been good because 5 is stronger, or is a higher number than 2. And it's not a different element. So again, the elements are going to be resolved in the game this way. Earth consumes water, so earth beats water. Fire beats earth. Water beats fire. So that's how that works. Now, what happens when you do consequences? If a player must take a consequence card, they choose to either take the top card of the discard pile or the top card of the deck. Place it face down in front of them. Players may look at their own consequence cards at any time. After taking a card, the player has 2 cards of the same rank or 3 cards of the same element. They show those cards to the other player and they immediately discard them in the order of their choice to the discard pile. So in this case, if I had 3 blue, if I had 3 blue, I could discard them. Or I had 2 of the same rank, which is the rank, so that's the number on the top, I could have discarded them. Refreshing deck. Whenever the deck is empty, shuffle all the cards in the discard pile into a new deck, then draw 1 card and place it face up in the discard pile to form the new discard pile. End match and scoring. When a player has 3 cards in front of them and they were not able to discard any, each other player takes 1 more turn, then the match ends. The player each total up the ranks of their cards and record their score. So the game doesn't completely end at that point, but basically, so if I had these 3 cards in my hand, I would have scored 12 points. The game's going to end when one player has 20 more points and the player with the lowest score wins. In the case of the tie, the youngest player wins. So that's going to be how you play the path ahead. Now, next we're going to go over the Sorcerer Showdown. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle up this deck here. And 2 sorcerers, this is going to be a 2-player game, clash in battles, each spell and counterspell growing less predictable as they wear down. Sorcerer's Showdown is a game of outplaying your opponent, calculating risk, shrinking hands, and rising chaos. You're going to require this deck here and win every clash in a single round to win the game. In this game, the avatar is going to be rank 1. Again, avatar is going to be this symbol right here. That's going to be rank 1. So you're going to have the 3 different elements there, and they'll be 1 through 6. All right, so set up for the game, and you're going to deal out 8 cards to each player and set aside the unseen cards. So I'm going to go ahead and deal out 8 cards to each player. So each player is going to get 8 of these. All right, so we have 8 cards. We're setting aside the unseen cards. So prepare. Both players are going to examine their cards and set 2 of them aside. So I'm going to take a look at my cards here, and I'm going to go ahead and set 2 of them aside. So you'll see better which ones you'll set aside later on, but I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these 2 red. And my opponent here is just going to randomly get rid of 2, which is the worst strategy in the world, but we're going to do this just to show you. All right, so next, you're going to cast a spell. The non-dealer starts by playing any card from their hand to start a clash. So I'm going to go ahead and place any card that I want to start the clash. And I'm going to go ahead and start off with this 3 here. The counter spell. The player then plays a card as well, playing the card of the same element if possible, but if not, playing any card they wish. After both cards are played, the clash is resolved as following. If both cards have the same elemental value, so let's say I'm going to play this 4. Whoever had the highest elemental value is going to win. So in this case, this player would win. Otherwise, if they have different elemental values, the elemental with the stronger element wins. So water there, if we remember our little chart here, water extinguishes fire. So if the opponent would have played fire, the water would have won. But if they play earth, the earth would beat the water. So in this game, it's important to know that the rank doesn't matter. It's just going to be, if they're not the same, it's going to be which one's the stronger element. But you do need to play the same element if possible, and in that case that'll win. Then they'll put the card over by them. So what you're going to be doing here is the player who won the clash places both cards in a single face-down stack in front of them to indicate they won the clash. If the clash was won by the avatar, then the winner overwhelms the loser and may steal a previously won clash. So the avatar is going to be really hard to win with. Normally you're going to do it by elemental difference, but the avatar, because the avatar is only really worth one, so you can gain one of the lost tricks from an opponent if you win with the avatar. You're going to continue. The player who won the clash starts the next one. A round end. When both players' hands are empty, the round ends. At the end of the round, if a player has won all the clashes, that player wins the game. If not, a new round will be started. All right, to start a new round, basically what you're going to do is you're going to shuffle up all these cards, and you're going to deal out one less card than the previous round. So after the first round, you're going to deal out 7 cards. If you have another round after that, you're going to deal out 6, and so on until someone has won all of the tricks or all of the clashes of that round. And that's going to be how you play Sorcerer Showdown. Okay, so that was 3 games you get to play with the Mysticana, a Foundation deck system. Now, this system comes with 3 different games you can play. Theoretically, more can come out, and you don't need to have any other cards because you could just play with these. You can make up your own games with them. So the system here has a lot of flexibility. There's also at least 2 expansions that you can play with this game to give you 2 more games you can play with this. So that's how you play Mysticana, a Foundation deck system. Let's go ahead back up the table here and I'll give you my final thoughts on it. So that was Mysticana, a Foundation deck system game. Now you notice it had 3 different games that you can play with this. There's going to be more coming out for this in the future. So there's a lot of replayability in it and a lot of versatility in just those few cards that you can have playing the game. Only 18 cards and you can do so much. And there's absolutely nothing stopping you from making your own variants of these games or new games that you could play with these cards. So it's really cool that you can have such a portable game that can do so many things. So you could take it around, you can go to bars, you could go to restaurants, you can play waiting for whatever and just teach it to someone and just have a lot of fun playing this game. So I really like this a lot and I'm really looking forward to the final version of this game and all the different things you can play with it. Overall, really good for how much, extremely good bang for your buck. So if you're looking for something like this, this is one of probably going to be one of my more favorite button shy games to get out. And it sort of fits with each of the different player counts too. There's some 1-player count games. There's a 6-player count game. So a lot of stuff in that area too. I really do like this and can't wait to see what else comes out with it. So that's my thoughts on Mysticana, a Foundation deck system. Really like this idea. And yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Thank you for watching.